Welcome to the Torah Birthing Podcast. My name is Batya. I'm a Kala teacher and birth educator, and my mission is to help you have an awesome transition into motherhood so you could fulfill your tafkid with support and recognize the power that you have. The Torah is not just history, it's the guide for our lives, and it's a great way to work on mindset too. It's important to know, it's important to learn. Are you ready? Let's do this. Hello and welcome back to the podcast. So today I want to take on a more loaded topic that has to do with our history as Am Yisrael, but also specifically today and how it has effects on pregnancy and birth. So the topic that I want to talk about is when horrible, horrific things happen, how we should navigate it for ourselves. So obviously we know everything that is going on in Eretz Yisrael and all of the pain with the hostages and all of the stories that are coming out and the stuff that is coming out and all of the news that is floating around. So if you are off of social media, you should keep staying off social media. But if you're on social media, then you will have a much deeper sense of what I'm talking about. And I'm even sometimes talking about certain WhatsApp statuses. We are just really seeing play by play and blow by blow. And also, if you're watching the news, you're seeing everything and all the propaganda that Hamas is putting out, for example, and everything that is being blown into our faces if we look at those outlets specifically. And it's not something that you can escape at all. So there's no way like around it. You're going to know what I'm talking about, know about the hostages, even if you are completely off social media, which is amazing. I think that you should keep staying that way if you are. And side note, I actually got a few women telling me that they couldn't watch the free birth class that I have. It's on the birth creator triangle. It describes the foundations and the basics that you need for birth. And some women were telling me, I have a filter, I can't see it on YouTube. So that's an amazing thing, and you should keep it up and keep doing it. But I want to talk about the whole toll that it takes. And it's a very hard topic for me to break down because there is a lot of pain, and a lot of people feel like if they are experiencing all that pain, the hostage families and all of these people who have lost all these people on Simchas Torah and lost really close family members, and I need to be part of that suffering and I need to feel that pain. So here's the thing. If you are feeling that way and you are feeling like I need to be entrenched in that pain, then the truth is that you're already feeling that pain. Because just being part of Am Yisrael, just being a part of us, the truth is that we're all one body and that we are not able to separate ourselves from it. So regardless of how far removed somebody might be from social media, they still know about the hostages enough to feel that pain, enough to feel the pain of another Jewish person. And that is huge. You don't need to go looking for it. You really don't need to go looking for that extra pain. And I know that this is a very hard topic because so many people feel this personal responsibility to feel this pain. And also throughout Jewish history, to know the pain that our nation has experienced. So there's a question of how much you should know. And I can't answer this question for you. It's a whole thing that you need to know for yourself. But when I was growing up, I was reading the series by Avner Gold. And this series is extremely well written. He's an extremely amazing author. And these books are really descriptive about Jewish history. They're fiction, but he includes some of the worst time periods that we've had. The Cossacks, the Spanish Inquisition. He goes through the span of all the pain that we've experienced as a Jewish nation, and he graphically describes it. So when I was like about 12 and I was first going through the series, I feel like we all have this sense that it's super important, but I would get these horrible nightmares just from all the scenes that I was reading, not even like watching. So magnify that by let's say somebody watching stuff that is very, very hard to take, and you cannot remove a picture from your mind. You cannot. And there is a lot of detriment and emotional dysregulation, and it has an impact on your mental health if you have these images constantly exposed into your mind when you are not the close, like it's not happening to you specifically. And let's talk about why this is extremely necessary to avoid in pregnancy. So there's a lot of scientific research, and the truth is that whatever you take in during pregnancy, you take in stress and anxiety, whatever you eat, everything that goes into you has an effect on your baby. So, like you are part of the makeup of your baby, right? It's 50% the father and 50% the mother, but the mother has so much impact for those 9 months. And we know this is true. So there are actually emotional issues that we see that play a role in pregnancy, right? If you have elevated cortisol levels, it could even impact how your baby develops. And this is not like to bring on any guilt, because we all go through hard times and we all go through hardships. But it is an empowering thing to be able to show us that we can actually protect ourselves and actually protect our spaces, because that's what I want you to get out of this episode. So there's also an increased risk of having more pregnancy depression, because postpartum depression is not the only thing that exists, and having a lot of anxiety. And a lot of what that could have an effect on is on your actual birth experience. Because if you're so anxious, you won't be able to do the work that you need to do as well as you could, as if you're in an empowered space. So I've actually watched people taking on trauma of their family members' births and taking it into their own births on a small scale, but it was really massive. And that actually led them to having C-sections or different things. So it is an important thing to separate your birth experience from other people's birth experiences. But it's also an important thing for you to separate your own emotional and mental health from everything else that is going on. Because also, we are one body, right? So if you have an issue with your leg, okay? If somebody has an issue with their leg, are they going to go and whack their other leg to get it to also feel the pain? No. Like, you're literally one body. And if your leg is hurting, you need to go take care of it. If you have that issue, then you're not going to go and cause more hurt and more pain and more trauma. And so people who are saying that you need to feel the pain of the hostages and the hostages' family and everybody who's living in Eretz Yisrael, and the people who are in Eretz Yisrael, I've seen this on Instagram, are like, you don't get our pain because you're in America and you don't fully feel it. Yeah, so the arm is not in pain when the leg is in pain, right? But the arm can help the leg get through the pain, because the arm is not in pain. So that is what's crazy. Like, everybody who's shaming everybody else for not feeling this pain, and it gets to such crazy levels, because there's even people on Instagram who are trying to promote their businesses, and they don't talk about the hostages all the time, right? And they shouldn't, because we need spaces that we can work on different things and promote different things and build different things in Am Yisrael, right? So people are like, why aren't you talking about what's going on? And it's not that these creators don't care. It's that they also need to make money. And if they're going to make money, you know what? That's going to strengthen our whole body, because I'll bet you that a lot of them are donating to causes in Eretz Yisrael. A lot of people are involved, and in different ways, and even just being emotionally healthy and working on tefillas and different things. You don't need to know every single aspect and see every single piece of propaganda that Hamas is putting out in order to be able to help the rest of the body. So if you're in Israel and you're, in my example, you're the leg, and you are feeling the pain because it's in your face much, much more, then that is your role in this situation. If you're in America and you're the arm, or if you're in Europe or whatever, and there's all of these different things that are going on in your life, there's a reason for that. And also, your small pain compared, small, quote unquote, is also very important, because you need to take care of the small things and the big things. But together as one body, we need to have our different, diverse experiences. We need to constantly be working on helping and supporting each other, and we need to be strong for each other. If we are all traumatized and in that state of trauma, then we can't help each other. We are all going to fall down together, but we need to have each other to lift ourselves up. That is the most important thing, and that is the thing to put first. And your family is super important, right? So in pregnancy now, your baby is super, super important, because that is going to, on a spiritual level, right? All the tefillas that we do matter. But on a spiritual level, your wholesome family is what is going to be helping tip the scale, right? Every neshama. Ein ben David ba ad sheyichlu kol neshamas begufim. We can't have Mashiach until we have all the neshamas brought down into bodies. That is part of the thing that is bringing the geula. So if you're in pregnancy now and you're like, what can I do? How can I help my brothers? Like, there is so much you are doing just by developing and bringing this neshama down, because that is your child might be that last neshama that needs to be brought down in order for Mashiach to come. And that in itself is huge. So what we need to do is, and I'm not negating the importance of the Jewish content creators who are saying to the world, listen, see all this pain. The world needs to look at the images, needs to see the stuff that's going on and understand what we're dealing with and understand the threat to them, right? Because they don't get it. They don't see it as much as we do. They don't see it as clearly. Because you see it so clearly, you don't need to be the one entrenched in it. the world does need to see it. So if you're a major content creator, then you have to find that balance for yourself. I can't answer that question for you, and I'm not answering the question for anybody, but we need to find that healthy balance between staying informed and protecting your emotional well-being and protecting your home, your own mini Beis Hamikdash, your own self, which is a mini Beis Hamikdash, your own neshama that you're bringing down. You need to protect that space. That is your mission and your job. So I want to talk about some strategies for managing stress and anxiety. So if you are interested in hearing different things and listening to the news, like, set up boundaries for yourself with social media, with news. Set it up for yourself. If you can avoid listening to it at all, I assure you, you will not miss any of the stuff. There's like this addiction that we need to see everything and hear everything that's going on. But really, like, it's just like adding more trauma, because sometimes the stuff that Hamas says is not true. It's not true, and we can't believe it. But when something does happen that is a true proven fact, like, somebody's going to tell you about it. Everyone's going to be talking about it. And you don't have to participate in these discussions, by the way. It might be too much for you. But there is a boundary and a thing that you could set for yourself. Another thing that is very important to do is to practice self-care and relaxation techniques. So take a bath, different things that make you feel good and are making you able to positively be a good mother for your family and feel like a good mother for your family, because you already are a good mother, I'm sure. And different things. That's why I have these relaxation tracks for birth, specifically from Torah sources, because we need, in this crazy world, we need to practice relaxation and to work on it so that we can bring that relaxation into our lives and into our births. And sometimes you do need to see good stuff and see funny stuff and see different content creators talking about different life's issues. So that's why, like, there's people on social media, there's from wholesome people on social media who are sharing good stuff that has nothing to do with Israel. And it's not a bad thing to do different things and to think about other people and to take a break from thinking about other people so that you can do everything in your power for them. Like, you can have your best feelings for them. If you are depressed and constantly in that state, you can't do as much, right? So if you need to watch a comedy show, there's comedians. That's an amazing and important thing. It is so important for you as a mother and in pregnancy, for birth, to be emotionally and mentally healthy so that you can serve your family, so that you can serve everyone else. You are so much more of use if you are actually taking the space to take care of yourself and you have stuff in your cup to overflow and to help others. So that is, I think, the way that we need to react to all of this. Not everything, not every detail do we need to know. And we can be empathetic and we can care, because we do inherently care, right? We have these qualities within us inherently. We don't need to go looking for them. We're not missing them. And if you are seeing somebody reacting to a different situation differently than you are, know that that is their way of serving Hashem and of being part of the body. And that is totally good and totally valid. And that they are being the beacon And you are being the beacon to protect your own space, to protect your boundaries, and to be able to give in the most powerful level, because it's called giving birth, right? So what we want to do is we want to take all the stuff that we have and be able to transform them and to give from them, right? So if you need help and support with this is why I have a birth course. And it's not just a birth course, it's a whole experience of being able to take your own emotions and everything and turn it into what you need for the best birth ever, and to give what you have no control over back to Hashem. Because there's always going to be questions why. And we just have to do our best with what we have. So that's why I want you to be able to check this out. And I'm going to include the links to that in the show notes. And if you just want a quick thing of encouragement with specific relationship to birth, I have my free class that you can watch right now, the replay. It's called the Birth Creator Triangle. And if you just send in your name and email, you're going to get it directly to your inbox. And it is something that has helped so many women, and you definitely want to listen to that. So take care of yourself, take care of your emotional and mental health in whatever way you need to, day by day. Talk to the people that you need to, and that you should just be able to have the best boundaries possible and create that best space in birth and be able to be and feel like the amazing, healthy, emotionally, mentally, physically mother that you are, that you can be. And that's what I'm wishing you. And I am davening that everybody in Klal Yisrael should be able to have that, and that we should be able to spread that light for each other and support each other in that way.
I would love to hear what you think. Message me on Instagram @TorahBirthing or send me an email, torahbirthing@gmail.com.